We say no. It's banned in the country, number one. And generally, even if it is not banned, like in England, in America, how many people will go and buy a book for 15 pounds? It is this thick, but there are only, this is 2,000 pages. Fine Bible paper, 2,000 pages. That one is 500 pages, but it is as thick as this, cheap paper, double spaced. 15 pounds, you know how much that is? More than 60 rands. You're going to pay for that, more than 60 rand for that filth and dirt. So why waste money? 60 rands for that book. If it is here, you'll have to pay about 100 rands if somebody imports it, if it was not banned in the country. 100 rands it will cost you. That 500 pages of filth and dirt. Generally, our response is no. Then it says, what right have you to take up positions? You haven't read the book? What right have you to now pass judgment? If this is a new qualification, because the whole world, the bulk of mankind, we are taking up positions without reading all the books. The Christian, there are millions of Christians who do not know more than a few pages of the Bible. I'm sure some of them are here with us tonight. There are millions of Christians who do not know more than a few pages of the Bible, and yet they take up positions. The Bible against the Quran, the Bible against the Vedas, the Bible against everything else. There are millions of Jews, I have met a number of them, who do not know the Shahada, the Kalima, the Shama, they call it Shama, the first commandment in Hebrew, they don't know. I have an occasion to meet these Jews. And I asked them, you know the Shama? Means your Kalima, your Shahada. Do you know? In Hebrew? So the men tell me, my wife knows. I said, no. Wallah, says, no, my wife knows. See? There are millions of them who don't know the Shama. Shama Israelu Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Which means, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. They don't know it in Hebrew. Millions. And there are millions of Muslims who read the Quran. Like last night I was telling you. I'm asking how many of you know before this moment that crucifixion as a punishment was mentioned in the Quran? Please put up your hands. You know how many brothers put up their hands? You know how many? One. Wallah, it was one. So it is that. And yet we take a position, the Christian takes up positions, everybody takes up positions on reporting what you hear. We heard that this man abused my mother, my father, my spiritual father, my spiritual mother. I have no right to take up attitudes, positions. This is a new qualification they have found out now. And thousands of learned men in the West, you call them artists, novelists, essayists, poets, playwrights, they have taken up stands in support of Rushdie. This man has besmirched the most beloved of our relations, and now they are taking a position to support Rushdie in his insults, attacks against Islam. So as a debate was arranged in the University of Natal in Durban between myself and a Professor Gardner. As soon as it was advertised, they cancelled the debate. So, and they came out in the newspapers in support of Rushdie, saying, leave Rushdie alone, say local writers. Leave him alone. Who are they? Some great names. I don't know whether you recognize any of them. Nadine Gordimer, J.M. Kudsi, Ethel Fugard, Andre Brink, Barney Simon, Zweleke Sisulu, Graham Greene, James Michener, Iris Murdoch, Alan Silito, Professor Gardner, Professor Lingle. Shh. I said, look, come, all of you, 3 at a time. 3 at a time, come, under controlled conditions. Let's have debates. not one of the cowards would come forward. Not one. They can get into the press with articles like Gardner got in, we replied, the newspaper cut our reply into half. Then he replies to that, we send an answer to that, not published at all. These are the people who are talking about free press. They want a free press. They want to be free from all kinds of censorship, but they censor us. But now, for a change, we must ask the Westerner. Ask him now for a change. Have you read the book? Ask him, have you read the book? And he's also taking positions just because he wants to support a co-writer. He's a writer, you're an author, so another author, you want to support him, never mind whether he's right or wrong. Generally, he also hasn't read. But if he says he has, I'm asking him, what have you read? You say, you read the book? He said, yes. I said, what did you read? You Britisher? First chapter. First page. It's numbered number 3 because one page holds one word Marianne. Marianne is his second wife. He dedicates to her. He counts it as a page. Actually, first chapter, first page, he calls the British people, the Londoners, bastards. This is Rushdie calling his benefactors, his godfathers, he calls them bastards. The first time I used the word bastard, about in 1960, that's over 20 years ago, in the City Hall of Durban, I was only quoting the Holy Bible. By God, I was only quoting. In the book of Deuteronomy, the 5th book of Moses, it is written that the bastard shall not enter the congregation of the Lord even unto the 10th generation. Once you are a bastard, your 10th generation are bastards. And they're not fit to go into the church, into the synagogue, into the mosque. If they know that your great-great-grandfather for 10th generation was a bastard, you have no right to go into the mosque, according to the religion. I was only quoting, and the roof nearly fell. Of course, the people today, I had warned you. I had warned you, but I said, look, people are getting more used to it. So look, I'm telling you, first page, he uses the word bastard for the British people, his benefactors. Did you read that? And he uses the word bastard 29 times in his book. In the Holy Bible, this encyclopedia of 66 books, it only occurs 3 times. The word bastard occurs in the Bible 3 times. In Rushdie's book, 29 times. Now, the British, are they insensitive to this? If you call a Britisher a bastard, he doesn't react. What has happened? That nothing happens to him. The first page is telling you people bastards and you say nothing. You don't feel, no, you didn't read it. Or at the back of your mind, the guy is hitting at the Muslims. It's giving you such pleasure, sadistic pleasure, that you don't care what he tells you or your mother or your sister or your wife or your daughter. It's a Muslim they are out to get. So they can afford to overlook. But otherwise, there are quite sensitive people. Here, the Daily News, our local paper, Daily News, like your Star, you have your Cape Argus and your Cape Times. Monday, May 22nd, 1989, call for ban. Dateline from London. It says furious British MPs, members of parliaments, have called for American actor Mickey Rourke, R-O-U-R-K, Rourke, to be banned from Britain. This is an American fellow, white man. They want to ban him from Britain.